Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, we have read on Andrew and the spy before, the Chinese spy, but now apparently King Charles is all tangled in here. So let's try and get some clarification here. Charles, Andrew, and the spy. What's going on here? Now, this is the Chinese spy that Andrew did not realize was a spy. And like I've said before, the royals are very naive. They are not street smart. They have been coddled all their lives by their courtiers. Like, God help them if they ever went to Paris without a guide, because they'd fall for all those tricks. And, you know, and right, they don't need to know all the ins and outs of the horrible people of the world and spies and scammers and scam artists, but maybe they do, because Meghan Markle is proof that they got scammed hard. And you know, you can say what you want about Diana and Fergie. They didn't scam the royal family. They may have been troublemakers, but they certainly did not scam the royal family. Very respectful. Their children are, you know, big part of the royal family. And so say what you want about them and their behavior, they did not scam the royal family. Meghan Markle, on the other hand, sorry, scam artist, carpetbagger, whatever you want to call her, that's what she is. So, and that just goes to show that they are a little naive, because they don't have the street smarts we do. They don't scroll Instagram like we do. They don't realize what's real and what's not. And especially back in 2011, before, you know, AI and fake news and CGI came along, I think they were sitting ducks, obviously. So let's find out. Let's try and untangle this. Now, I just want to remind you, some people get angry because this deck has a blank card. The blank card means we need to stop, either because the deck doesn't want to read about it or the universe doesn't want us to know. All right, so I have another deck on hand that if that were to happen, I can quickly ask, is it the deck that doesn't want to tell us, or is it the universe that doesn't want to tell us? All right. Also, I want to know, this is something that Buckingham Palace has actually come out and made a statement about. That's how serious it is. They don't make statements about things. Like, you haven't heard them make a statement about Harry and sent to Bali. But they made a statement about this, that the king had no idea. So let's find out what's going on here. Shall we begin? 10 of Pentacles in reverse. This is ripping the family apart. This is tarnishing their legacy. It might even cost them some money to get out of this. But this is definitely intergenerational difficulties. 5 of Cups in reverse. Well, in some sense, there's let's let go of the past and look to the future, and that's perhaps why Buckingham Palace made a statement about it. The Star in reverse. Wow, this is actually going to be more disruptive than we thought. Queen of Cups upright. Oh, blank card. You see how many times I shuffle them. What's the underlying? The Fool in reverse. Well, we have Camilla on here. You know, is she like ringing this bell? Like, I told you so, I told you, I told you. Like, you can just see her hand and she's ringing the bell going, ding dong, I told you. If anybody, she has more street smarts than anybody else. She lived in the real world. The Fool. Are we being fooled, or is this really foolish? Now, like I said, I have an emergency deck beside. This deck either doesn't want to read or we are not allowed to know. So I'm going to quickly ask this deck, do you want to read on the Charles, Andrew, and the Chinese spy issue? Do you want to read? Sometimes we are not meant to know. And then if you just continue to push it, you're guessing. Or the universe is giving you trick answers. It can do that too. Cards are ready. Queen of Cups, Queen of Cups. I'm going to say, yeah, this deck will read on it. So it's this deck that doesn't want to read on it. Queen of Cups upright would be a yes. So the King, Andrew, and the Spy. What's going on there? What can you tell us about that? What can you tell us about that? What can you tell us? Universe and deck. What do you want to tell us about that? Cards are ready. Queen of Swords in reverse. Some kind of contract was undone, or it was a bad contract. Two of Cups. Two people in agreement. Knight of Swords. Attack. Page of Cups. Bad news. Knight of Pentacles upright. Okay, I think that this is them coming together. Definitely them coming together. But the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Swords here in reverse, I'm almost getting that this could have been some kind of trap. I mean, well, all spying is, isn't it? And then they're kind of stuck with what happened. I think they may have been both surprised. Let's find out if this is Charles and Andrew, like what was happening here, because they're both cups, right? The Fool. I think this is Charles and Andrew. I think they were quite innocent about what was going on. I mean, I think the statement from Buckingham Palace was like, they only met, they didn't discuss anything. And so this attack on Andrew and Charles, this may be coming from Harry. I wasn't going to mention that, but it may be coming from Harry. Six of Cups. Yeah, there's the siblings. They're fighting over it. They're definitely fighting over with the Knight of Swords there. So yeah, this is Charles and Andrew, I think, are on the outs about this. I wonder if this has anything to do with him wanting to kick him out of Royal Lodge. Ten of Pentacles in reverse, same as the other card said. This is actually really dividing the family. This is like loss of legacy. Although I don't know how much more we could tarnish Andrew, or how much more he could be tarnished. This is also loss of, this looks bad for Charles as well. That's probably why the palace came out so quickly with a statement. Death. And the Empress in reverse. You know what? The Queen was around back then. And this could have something to do. I'm not saying this pushed the Queen to that, because it was like years, like over a decade later. But perhaps this is something that was brought up during the Queen's death and inheritance. And let me see. The Magician in reverse. What's some really, the Nine of Pentacles upright. I'm wondering if this is the real reason that Queen Elizabeth stripped Andrew of everything. And, it just so happened the Goofrey stuff was going on because he's the only one who's been implicated. The only one. And yet, so maybe it was something to do with Charles pushing his mom to kick Andrew out of the royal family almost. Right? Charles hears death. Six of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. Someone got some money out of this. Someone definitely got some money out of this. Page of Swords in reverse. Four of Swords. Ace of Wands. They thought this was put to bed. They thought this was put to bed. And yet the universe, the internet and the trolls, somebody keeps poking at it and bringing it up, but they want to quiet it. They thought this was put to bed. There was some money exchanged here to keep people quiet. 100%. 9 and 6 here. For sure there was. Somebody was successful in getting a lot of money keeping this quiet. But then somebody brought it up again. This is Charles saying, I'm a victim here. I didn't do anything. But it's very unfortunate that his name now has been entangled. But there's some kind of strategy around this. Somebody wants to bring something to light. Somebody wants to bring something to light. There's some kind of renewed interest in this. And I think the strategy right now is just to say Charles is unfortunately tied to it, but he didn't do anything. This, you could almost say the sun upright is the announcement from Buckingham Palace saying he didn't do anything. He was just happened to meet the guy. There was no contracts discussed. Even the Queen of Swords here in reverse could be there was no contracts discussed. None whatsoever. And somebody's just bringing up some garbage. Like, who would know that all this kind of went down in 2011? Would Harry know? Would he have been a knight back then? Young man? Perhaps heard somebody over talking about something? And who would know secrets about Andrew? And we don't have Megan on here at all. So who would be wanting to bring all of this to attention about how bad the royal family is and how, they sneak around with Chinese spies, and somebody got some money out of this to be quiet about something. And they didn't really keep their end of the bargain. It is a bit of a distraction. Two of Pentacles can be a distraction. Don't look here, look over there, don't look here. But it's in reverse, so it's really not working. Also, this could be telling me this is the end of negotiations, and this is also the end of the, like the end of the story. Like, you kind of put it to bed in some respects. The Two of Pentacles is like you're budgeting, you're thinking this or that, and then once it's in reverse, you've kind of made up your mind about something, or something has settled. You think about you're juggling balls, and then you stop and there's nothing more, to juggle. You put the balls down, the juggling is over. So I think this is not going to have very long legs. I think and also the Knight of Pentacles tells me too, it's kind of going to stall. I don't think it's going to have very long legs. I think that's a lot of PR, a lot of spin doctoring going on here. And that's what the magician does as well. I think this is something that there's something here. There's something here about, well, obviously the Queen showed up. Something that then happened 11 years later around the Queen's death. It could be the inheritance. The Ten of Pentacles is in reverse. If the King of Cups showed up, I was going to say, I wonder if this is Andrew trying to make Charles look bad. But I don't think so. I think both brothers here agree. We got the siblings, and I think they both agree they were kind of innocent in it. I actually think it's Harry's digging this up and feeding it to the media. Harry and his sidekick trying to make the royal family look bad, right? It's like Harry's doing this Santabali thing, and here's the distraction. Oh, okay. Well, what about my dad? And here's a story I bet the papers don't know. King Charles, was my dad was sitting down with my Uncle Andrew, and I know they were talking to this guy. I remember meeting him at the party, kind of thing. So it's some kind of big distraction from Santabali. This isn't going to have long legs. The palace made a comment and said, yeah, the king's not involved. keep looking at Harry. All right. So you are going to see a video that perhaps you haven't seen before. Why don't you click on that and I'll see you over there. Thank you very much for watching. Please take good care. Bye for now.